Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving straight into Vincent Peale's classic, The Power of Positive Thinking. But look, we're not just going over vague, fluffy theories here. We're building a dynamic, proactive mindset playbook. We're breaking down actual, structured strategies from the source material to help you completely master your internal world and, honestly, transform how you tackle your everyday life. Before we map out this strategy, I want you to ask yourself a pretty crucial question. Are you planting seeds of positivity or negativity? The source material hits us with a really striking point right off the bat. Unhappiness? It isn't just something that randomly strikes you out of nowhere. Actually, it's usually just the byproduct of dwelling on sad thoughts, holding on to resentments, and constantly expecting to fail. You know, if you expect to fail, well, you're gonna fail. So fundamentally, if you want to be happy, it starts with you actively deciding you want to feel happy. Okay, let's dive into this playbook. It's broken down into 5 transformative steps. We've got choosing your own happiness, the antidote to anxiety, expecting the best outcomes, solving problems with serenity, and finally, handling heartache through action. These are the steps that will take us from reclaiming our minds to actually taking real-world action. Let's kick things off with Phase 1, choosing your own happiness. It is all about actively creating your own joy rather than just sitting back and dwelling in the sadness. To pull this off, Peale says we have to adopt what he calls the happiness habit. Basically, it's about forcing yourself to think upbeat, cheery thoughts and short-circuiting the negative ones until it naturally just feels better. Look, as humans, we kind of like to sit and marinate in our own sadness sometimes. Our brains literally force us to do it without us even realizing why. Peale argues we absolutely have to short-circuit that negativity. You've got to take the wheel. Blast some upbeat music, hit the gym, get productive, or literally just pause to notice the simple things. You know, feel the sun on your skin or listen to the birds for a second. Now, at first, yeah, it's going to feel tough. It feels forced because, well, you are forcing it. But eventually, if you consistently cut off that gossip, guilt, and anger, that forced positivity turns into a completely genuine, natural feeling of happiness.
Moving right along to Step 2, the antidote to anxiety. We really need to find that inner peace and defeat that paralyzing trap where we just sit around fuming over things we literally cannot control.
A huge part of this antidote actually connects Peale's ideas to Stephen Covey's famous principle, the circle of concern versus the circle of influence. The source emphasizes a harsh truth. People waste an unbelievable amount of time and energy fretting over things they have absolutely zero power over. You have to stop wasting your mental energy on your circle of concern immediately. Instead, pivot and focus exclusively on your circle of influence, the stuff you can actually change. For everything else, you just gotta let it go and move on so you aren't draining your brain's battery. To actually relieve that anxiety, there's a highly specific number you need to lock into your brain: 15. Peale suggests dedicating exactly 15 minutes a day to completely separating your mind from your daily stress. So what does that look like? It means taking time to calm your nervous system by meditating on a peaceful setting. Close your eyes, whether you're at your desk at work or sitting on your couch, and transport your mind back to a beautiful past vacation. Vividly imagine it. Smell the ocean air, feel the warm sand on your feet, imagine plunging right into the water. By actively visualizing these peaceful scenes for just 15 minutes a day, you effectively wipe the slate clean and neutralize that daily anxiety. Now we're rolling into Section 3, expecting the best outcomes. This is where we shift our focus outward and start planting those positive seeds. Think about the difference between a setback and a setup. This is a massive shift in perspective, a real game changer. When things go wrong, you have to recognize that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Meaning every challenge, every seemingly awful event isn't actually a setback designed to keep you down, it's a setup. It's teaching you a vital lesson to help you level up. If you constantly plant seeds of doubt, you're just going to harvest more doubt. But if you look at a problem and intentionally say, okay, there's a lesson in this for me, you instantly take your power back. You're expecting the best. The really crucial point here is how profoundly these negative thoughts and worries can wreck our actual physical reality. The narrator of our source material shared this deeply personal, intense anecdote. During a period of massive stress, his constant worry brought on real, severe physical symptoms. We're talking terrible insomnia, heart palpitations, and actual chest pains. He rated his daily life satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10, right? With 9s and 10s being those rare, perfect days. His daily life? It was consistently stuck at a miserable 4. He described waking up and immediately feeling the crushing weight of the day, just oscillating between a 3 and a 4 out of 10. Awful. And doctors and psychologists universally agree on this. Worrying literally damages your physical body and shortens your life. It's a physical detriment, not just a mental one. Because the impact is so severe, Peale insists we absolutely have to clear our thinking before our heads hit the pillow. The source mentions this incredible visualization technique. Close your eyes and imagine your worries literally draining out of your body, exactly like water pouring out of a glass. You just empty it all out, leaving you totally clear and ready for some real healing rest. But to permanently replace that devastating worry with actual hope, you need a concrete plan. The narrator managed to drag himself out of that level for misery by establishing 3 very specific types of goals: a financial goal, a health goal, and a professional goal. By defining exactly what he wanted to achieve across these 3 major pillars of life, he completely swapped out his anxiety for genuine hope. It gave him something to actually get excited about. He could actively work toward them, knowing that hitting these targets would pull him out of the mess. These actionable goals give you the forward momentum you desperately need to leave worry in the dust.
That brings us to Section 4, solving problems with serenity. Because when we hit those inevitable hurdles, we need calm, clear solutions.
So rather than overwhelming you with Peale's massive list of 10 different techniques, we've curated the ultimate problem-solving playbook for you. First, you have to firmly believe there is a solution, even if you can't see it right now. Second, maintain your serenity without forcing the answers. Don't panic just because you don't have it all figured out by, say, Saturday at noon. Third, do your homework. Gather all the relevant facts. Fourth, actively carve out time to go for a walk in nature to separate yourself from the daily grind. Fifth, rely on your inner intuition. And finally, just trust the answer that develops. The narrator mentioned he'd go for walks, listen to some music, let his mind wander, and literally just type out inspired answers into the notepad app on his phone as they naturally popped up. The secret sauce here is letting the solution reveal itself while you stay perfectly calm. Finally, we arrive at Phase 5, handling heartache through action. The secret here is to resist by staying incredibly busy. Because let's face it, everybody inevitably experiences heartache at some point, whether it's from a divorce, a brutal breakup, or losing someone you love. Now, Peale completely acknowledges that sometimes we just have to be sad. We have to work our way through the grieving process. But he insists we cannot set up camp and dwell there permanently. You have to resist heartache by staying busy and getting back to your normal activities as soon as humanly possible after a crushing defeat. Get back to work, hit the gym again, start eating right, and go hang out with your friends and family. Letting your mind brood and throw a pity party for too long, that's not processing heartache, that's literally handing the steering wheel over to the heartache and letting it win. We have to get back to living. And that brings us to the end of our explainer, leaving you with one final, absolutely vital question to carry forward. Will you let your circumstances define you, or will you use this playbook to actively create your own reality? Ultimately, if you flat out refuse to let heartache or anxiety win, if you relentlessly short-circuit those negative thoughts, and if you truly adopt the mindset that life happens for you and not to you, well, you hold the ultimate power to shape your world. So take these tools, apply them to your daily life, and decide exactly what kind of reality you're going to build today. Thanks so much for joining me to explore this incredible source material, and I'll catch you next time.